Thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, Israeli Defense Forces launching a raid on a Hamas terrorist center located in the largest hospital in Gaza. The raid comes as the United States confirms Hamas has been using hospitals for its terrorist activities. Supporting Israel, nearly 300,000 people traveled to our nation's capital to show support for the Jewish state and to stand against antisemitism. We've got that at the March for Israel. Iran, which is behind the terrorist groups attacking Israel, is also a danger here in the Western Hemisphere. We're going to bring you a look at Iran's growing power right in our own backyard. And as President Biden meets Chinese leader Xi Jinping today, a new report warns about a serious threat from China. Its growing nuclear arsenal. All those stories and more ahead today, right here on CBN NewsWatch.
This is CBN NewsWatch.
We begin this half hour with the Israeli Defense Forces launching a key raid on a Hamas terrorist center early today, located in Gaza's largest hospital. Israel says it is taking care to protect civilians as it is delivering medical supplies and equipment to help patients in Al-Shifa Medical Center as the Israeli Defense Forces push ahead on their mission to completely defeat Hamas. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us the story now. She's in Jerusalem.
Smoke was rising over the Gaza Strip today as fighting continued in the central part of Gaza, and the Israel Defense Forces announced they were inside the Shifa hospital.
Based on intelligence information and an operational necessity, IDF forces are carrying out a precise and targeted operation against Hamas in a specified area in the Shifa hospital.
It's an incredibly complicated situation. We know that the IDF was in already around 2 a.m. this morning, Israel time. We know that they're still there. The early impression that I and some others were given was that this was not necessarily going to be the final operation in Shifa, but maybe sort of an initial operation, but all of that could be developing also because they're still there after more than 10 hours.
The IDF says its battle is with Hamas and not the Palestinian people, and it's trying to avoid civilian casualties.
The IDF forces include medical teams and Arabic speakers who have undergone specified training to prepare for this complex and sensitive environment, with the intent that no harm is caused to the civilians being used by Hamas as human shields.
The IDF released footage of their delivery of medical supplies and equipment to the front of Shifa Hospital today. Gaza hospitals, including Shifa, have been an Israeli target because Israel says Hamas uses the hospitals for its military purposes, including command centers and weapons storage under the hospital buildings. The IDF says it's working to save the civilian staff and patients.
We are operating to enable evacuation of hospitals in the Gaza Strip, those that are in the north, including Shifa Hospital, to hospitals in the safer south. Today, the Al-Quds Hospital evacuation was completed. We have offered the Shifa Hospital Administration, alongside international NGOs, to transfer incubators, medical equipment, and food to the Premature Babies Department of the hospital. The equipment is ready to be transferred.
The IDF also released more footage of weapons found earlier under the Rantisi hospital. And after Israel said Hamas had terror centers under Gaza hospitals, the U.S. backed up those claims.
I can confirm for you that we have information that Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad use some hospitals in the Gaza Strip, including Al-Shifa, and tunnels underneath them to conceal and to support their military operations and to hold hostages.
And in Washington, more than 100 congressmen watched the October 7th massacre video released privately by the Israeli government, collected from body cam and cell phone footage of the terrorists themselves. Many reportedly left the room shaken and at a loss for words, with some in tears. Representative Steve Cohen says the U.S. needs to act now to send weapons and never forget.
I just watched the 1-minute film provided by the Israeli government for our members to watch, the 47-minute film of the horrors of Hamas and what they did on October the 7th. Everyone who saw that should never forget it and should give notice to the world of the barbarity and the horrific attack on the Israeli people.
They wanted members to see this, to never forget, to remember what happened on October 7th, as we see the narrative shifting that somehow the Palestinians are the victims. Well, I can assure you, everybody who saw that video today knows who the real victims are. The victims were the Jewish people.
And to prevent any more attacks like those on October 7th, the Israeli military is pushing ahead in Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel's goal is complete victory over Hamas or anything like it in the future. But at the same time, as there are heavy exchanges of fire with Hezbollah in northern Israel, he warned them against pushing the state of Israel.
We are committed to restoring security to the citizens of Israel, both in the south and in the north, and that's what we're going to do.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
We continue our coverage now with Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell. He's joining us from Jerusalem. So, Chris, let's begin with the Israeli raid on the Al-Shifa hospital. How dangerous of an action was this for the Israeli military?
Well, Ephraim, tremendously dangerous. I talked to a military correspondent there on our story, Yonan Bobby, said this could be the biggest development since the start of the war. Incredibly complicated. And why? Because the epicenter of all the Hamas's military operation all the way back to 2014 has been under these large hospitals, Al-Shifa being the largest hospital in Gaza. They use it to hide underground. We also know that maybe some of the hostages would have been there. It's incredibly complicated military operation because, one, you want to eliminate Hamas, but on the same time, you need to protect the patients, the staff, while the whole world is watching and while the international media is covering this. Hamas has known for years that Israel wouldn't come from the air, and even for special forces, it's a daunting task, and it's a developing situation, as we understand it. Began 2 a.m. local time here in Israel. But overall, I think there is proof, not only today, but throughout the last few days, that Hamas has systematically been using these hospitals for their military operations.
Chris, Israel's military says it's making great progress in its military action in Gaza. Qualify that for us. Is Hamas on the run from Israeli forces now?
Very much in northern Gaza, Ephraim. They've made major gains, and the hospitals actually have been key to their strategy because that's been the epicenter of Hamas's military strategy. Those were their command and control centers where their leaders have been hiding out. But Hamas is no longer in control of northern Gaza, and that's a major victory for the IDF, and they continue to eliminate and degrade the ability of Hamas to wage war. We know the number of rockets has been limited substantially. They're out, apparently, of their longer-range missiles. They're even shooting some of their shorter-range missiles. But major gains have been made by the IDF, particularly in northern Gaza.
Let's turn to the hostage situation now. We're hearing talks of a deal. What can you tell us about that?
Well, first of all, President Biden, at the end of a news conference the other day, said, hang in there, we're coming. That gave some hope to some of the families of the hostages that perhaps there could be some sort of a deal or rescue. Following that, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the information about the hostages will be made public, quote unquote, if and when there are concrete developments. So he tempered a little bit what President Biden had said. There are several reports that the head of Shin Bet, which is Israel's equivalent of the FBI, has gone to Cairo to discuss a deal to free some of the hostages. ABC News is also reporting a breakthrough could come in the next 2 or 3 days. But, there have been talks of breakthroughs in the past few weeks, and so nothing has developed yet. We know that Hamas holds about 180 hostages, Palestinian Islamic Jihad about 40, and then there's families that hold about 20. So that makes it incredibly complex negotiations to try to get any of these hostages out. And that's why a number of groups around the world have been mobilizing prayer for the release of the hostages.
Chris, we're hearing word that the Biden administration has extended a waiver on some sanctions on Iran that will give Iran access to roughly $10 billion. What kind of response are you hearing about that?
Well, a lot of people are very upset about that. Specifically, what it does is it allows Iraq to purchase electricity from Iran. That's going to free up about $10 billion for Iran. And supposedly they're going to use it for humanitarian purposes, not for nefarious purposes. Now, a lot of people here in the region, and I think on Capitol Hill as well, don't believe that. It's going to allow Iran to transfer money to its proxies in the region. And the current war it's waging, that Iran is waging against against Israel in its so-called ring of fire with all these proxy groups around the region.
We began this newscast with a report from Julie Stahl, once again hearing warnings about the growing fighting with Hezbollah in northern Israel. How seriously is the Israeli government taking the threat from Hezbollah there?
Very seriously. You saw that at the end of our report, Netanyahu met with leaders of the northern communities yesterday. He said they're striking Hezbollah hard. It's been the worst fighting since 2006. And it continues to escalate. It's, as we reported a few days ago, one expert said it's a war, no longer just a conflict, maybe low level, but it's a war. We have 60,000 people displaced up on the north. That's not sustainable in the long run. And what's next in the north is still the big question.
All right, Chris, thank you. Our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell joining us from Jerusalem. We thank you for your coverage. And as always, we continue to pray for you and our entire team there in Israel. Here at home, an historic rally in our nation's capital Tuesday called the March for Israel, as nearly 300,000 people of different faiths and political beliefs came together to support the Jewish state in its war against terrorism and to take a stand against anti-Semitism. The rally came in response to weeks of pro-Palestinian and anti-Israel protests in the United States and around the world. CBN's Hillary Powell brings us this story now from Washington.
With a message in song to stamp out hate, organizers say an estimated 290,000 people spoke with their feet, gathering on the National Mall to stand with Israel, condemn anti-Semitism, and call for the safe return of the remaining nearly 240 hostages abducted by Hamas on October 7th. Family members fought back tears to tell their story.
My family is being held hostage by terrorists. I am here with you because I love my family, and I promised I would scream to the ends of the earth for them.
The March for Israel saw bipartisan endorsement of one of America's closest allies as criticism has intensified over Israel's offensive in Gaza, set off by the Hamas incursion. Overlooking a mass of Israeli and U.S. flags, top congressional leaders, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries, joined hands with Republicans House Speaker Mike Johnson and Iowa Senator Joni Ernst.
There are few issues in Washington that could so easily bring together leaders of both parties in both chambers, but the survival of the state of Israel and her people unites us together.
Congress will continue to support in a bipartisan way the state of Israel and Israel's unequivocal right to exist.
Crowd members draped in the Israeli flag stood side by side with Christians as well.
Gathered before me on this mall are people of all faiths, beliefs, identities, and backgrounds. You are united by your abhorrence of Jew hatred and your recognition of its lethal nature.
I am here to deliver a singular message. Israel, you are not alone.
Students from across the country showed up in strong numbers, including young voices, saying they are concerned for others.
Because we need to stand with our country in the times of need they're in.
One student group came from Miami to show support for Israel. High school senior Shoshana Wagoda says it has real personal impact as she prepares to head to college.
We're Jewish and we love Israel and it's our home. And that's the only place that we can feel really safe with all the anti-Semitism in the world.
We oppose the state of Israel because we are Jews.
A contingent of Jewish counter-protesters peacefully spoke out against Israel and Zionism. One father brought his family to the march and says it's sobering for his children to be called to action so young.
Yeah, we have kids who are in Jewish day school, and they're surrounded by people who are in mourning right now. And it's sad that they have to learn it at this age, but this is the world we live in, unfortunately.
Peace has been the cornerstone of this event for the organizers, and D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says the presence of the National Guard has further helped to ensure that. In Washington, Hillary Powell, CBN News.
Coming up, the war against Israel extends far beyond the Middle East. The long arm of Iran reaches all the way into our own hemisphere in South America. We're going to bring you a look at how Jewish communities are being targeted and possible threats here in the United States. We've got the story for you when we come back. Iran and the militias it supports, like Hezbollah, are dangerous in other regions of the world beyond the Middle East. Hezbollah terrorists are plotting attacks against Jewish communities in South America. Iran is also undercutting diplomatic support for the Jewish state in the region. 4 nations have removed or recalled their ambassadors to Israel. Dale Hurd brings us this look at Iran's growing dominance right in our own backyard.
Brazilian police foiled a terror attack last week against Jewish targets after a tip from Israel's spy agency Mossad. 2 members of Hezbollah were arrested. This in a region that saw horrific bombings in 1992 and 1994, both the work of Hezbollah and Iran. During a time of war in the Middle East, the growing influence of Iran and Hezbollah in Latin America creates not only a renewed strategic threat to the United States, but a fresh danger to Latin America's Jewish community. Dr. Evan Ellis is a Latin American specialist at the U.S. Army War College.
If what is happening in the Middle East right now, heats up into a hot war between the United States and Iran, one can expect that Iran will seek to mobilize its proxy networks, Hezbollah and others throughout the hemisphere. And so it's not unthinkable, numerous attacks that could be undertaken against both Israeli and Jewish community targets and U.S. targets.
Iran's influence can be seen behind the decisions of 4 Latin American nations to remove or recall their ambassadors from Israel after it attacked Hamas in Gaza. Chile, Bolivia, Honduras, and Colombia. The Bolivian government said it will cut diplomatic ties with Israel. Iran has been forging military and business alliances with dictators and corrupt leaders in Latin America for decades, most famously with Venezuela, which is helping Iran build drones and hosting camps for Hezbollah fighters and members of Iran's Quds force. Latin Americans are also getting a steady diet of anti-U.S. programming through Iran's Hispan TV, which blankets the region. Earlier this year, Brazil's socialist government ignored U.S. protests and allowed Iran to dock 2 warships in Rio de Janeiro. In Buenos Aires, Dr. Ariel Gelblung with the Simon Wiesenthal Center says the fact that Iranian and Hezbollah agents are operating freely in Latin America has Jews in the region on alert.
We are all worried here in Argentina and in all Latin America about this. If they can't attack in southern Lebanon to Israel, they will try in another place. Their worries, of course, to protect the Jewish community in this country.
Latin America has become a win-win situation for Iran as it builds profitable alliances for itself while helping strengthen governments that are hostile to the United States and to Israel. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Still ahead, it is a major threat to the United States, and it's growing quickly. China's rapidly expanding nuclear arsenal. We're going to have that story for you. It's coming up right after this. As President Biden prepares to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping today in San Francisco, a new Pentagon report reveals a disturbing development about China's military power. Aside from expanding land, air, and sea capabilities, Beijing's nuclear arsenal is rapidly growing, blowing past previous projections. CBN national security correspondent Caitlin Burke is on this story.
According to this intelligence, China has more than 500 nuclear warheads in its arsenal as of May. That's 100 more than last year and puts Beijing on pace to field more than 1,000 by 2030. A rapid expansion that has the U.S. taking note.
They're becoming a great power. They don't want to be checkmated by our nuclear forces, and they want to therefore be in our league.
Michael O'Hanlon of the Brookings Institution says China still has a ways to go before its stockpile rivals that of the U.S. or Russia. He adds, while the buildup isn't a surprise, he does find the budding partnership between Beijing and Moscow concerning.
We always had a framework, and we assumed that it was okay for Russia and the United States to each have equal numbers of different types of weapons. And now you have a problem, because if China comes into the equation, and China and Russia are strategic partners, and we let each of the 3 have the same number of weapons, now it could sort of feel like a 2-to-1, the United States getting outmuscled or outgunned.
O'Hanlon says China's military rise will likely require new arms treaties or at least greater transparency. Meanwhile, the Pentagon report also shows a sharp increase in risky behavior by the PRC in the air.
In the last 2 years, we've had as many incidents with the Chinese in the South China Sea and environment as in the previous decade.
Between the fall of 2021 and fall of 2023, the DoD documented more than 180 instances of dangerous air intercepts against U.S. aircraft. One of the most recent happening at the end of October when a Chinese fighter flew recklessly close to a U.S. bomber.
And the bottom line is that, in many cases, this type of operational behavior can cause accidents, and dangerous accidents can lead to inadvertent conflict.
This news comes as President Biden prepares to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping in California. The two are expected to announce the resumption of military communication channels, a move seen as an attempt to stabilize the relationship between the world's two largest powers and lower the risk of a military misunderstanding. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
Coming up, amid all the turmoil in the world, we've got an encouraging word for your day ahead. We've got that for you when we come back. Stay with us. You're watching CBN NewsWatch.
Download the CBN News app. One place for all of your news. Breaking news alerts. Watch CBN News Channel Live. CBN News, because truth matters. Get the CBN News app today.
Time now for your Wednesday word, and today I'd like to share two words separated by only one letter: think and thank. And I encourage you to do both. Think on your circumstances, then thank God for the ability to overcome. Think on your trouble, but quickly turn to thank God. He is in control. Think, but more importantly, thank Him in all things. Well, that will do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. I want to remind you, you can always find more of our programs on the CBN News channel. You can also find them online at cbnnews.com. They're there in both places at any time. We'd love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do so by emailing us, newswatch@cbn.com. And of course, you can reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make it a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.